The Jacob Burns Center for Ethics and the Practice of Law introduces students to some of the ethical and professional challenges that they will face when they enter the legal profession. Being a lawyer is both a privilege and a responsibility, and so we try to equip students with some of the skills that they will need to enter into the profession by thinking about not only the rules that constrain their behavior, but the norms of practice and some of the issues they'll confront as individuals in thinking about what kind of lawyer they wish to be.
I think one of the things that makes the center important and valuable to students is that we invite members of the community, members of the bar, academics, judges, to come and speak and to debate really important questions about professionalism. And so our students have an opportunity to be exposed to current debates, but they also have exposure to some really significant and important people in the New York City legal community.
We're both engaged in our scholarship and our teaching and our work with the profession in some of the cutting-edge legal issues that lawyers confront. And we like to bring students into those conversations and ask them to think about what they would do in particular circumstances so that they're ready before they actually have those challenges confront them in practice.
It's really important to understand that every law school has an obligation to teach professional responsibility. But I think Cardozo does far more than that. I think what Cardozo does is it makes professionalism a major part of the student's experience here. So what we do at the center complements what happens in the classroom, but I think it goes far beyond that. We also are leaders in scholarship. We both write in our own areas about professional responsibility in criminal law, in Jessica's case, in civil litigation, in my case. And so I think that there's a kind of synergy that the center allows for which students, I think, really benefit.
Some of the talks that we've sponsored in recent years have touched on issues like the role of the legal profession in the Me Too movement, thinking about responsibility of lawyers within law firms as places of employment, but also the profession more broadly, and thinking about the roles that lawyers play when acting on behalf of clients who are alleged to have engaged in misconduct. Last year we put on a major symposium thinking about whether there was in fact a legal crisis in the profession at the level of the Supreme Court with the ethical challenges involving Supreme Court justices, with the lawyers who represented Donald Trump in some of his challenges to the results of the 2020 election, and also thinking about the so-called weaponization of the rule of law and whether in fact the Department of Justice had been weaponized in prosecuting political opponents.
In fact, we even give an award for courage in the practice of law. We've done that on one occasion, and we think that one thing that the center is doing is it's engaging the larger community by reminding the larger community that law schools are places where we take seriously legal ethics, and we actually want to have a voice in debates about how lawyers should behave, and if necessary, how lawyers ought to be disciplined as they practice law in the larger society.
We do take applications from student organizations for funding for programs that they are planning to put on, but for which they need additional funding. So the Burns Center does have funds not only for programs that we decide we want to initiate, but to co-sponsor with student organizations. And they have come to us in the past, and we've provided funding for those student-initiated programs. We've also had students participate in some of the bar activities that we're involved in. So some bar associations, for example, allow student representatives on various committees, and so we've had the opportunity to have students from Cardozo participate, for example, in the Association of the Bar of the City of New York Professional Responsibility Committee.